Weekly update for Friday, May 27th. Weekly update for Friday, September 27th. And a postcard from James W. of Toronto, Ontario. Hey Dave, just wondering if you're ever going to address that 300th issue of Spawn fiasco on a weekly update, as it's doubtful Todd created even 25% of those issues. Just curious, James. Well, yeah, I'll address it if you want, but I think that's sort of covered by Welcome to the 300 Club, Todd McFarlane, which is going to be on the front cover of Iron Manticore #1, coming out at the end of this month, theoretically. Maybe not the last Wednesday of the month when it's supposed to, but sometime soon. There's no easy way to do 300 issues of a comic book. And if Todd's talking about as soon as you put out issue 301, you win, well, as soon as Todd puts out issue 301, he wins. But I will point out that I've never interfered in these kinds of things. Cerebus wasn't in the Overstreet price guide for the longest time, and I didn't say anything about that. I mean, Cerebus #1 was going for probably $100 or a couple of $100 or something at the time, but Cerebus was just disqualified as a comic book to Robert Overstreet and his people. Cerebus wasn't a comic book, so it had no place in the Overstreet price guide. And then eventually it did get into the Overstreet price guide. Robert Overstreet and his advisors changed their minds. Same thing with the Guinness Book of World Records. Cerebus was finally acknowledged as most consecutive issues written and drawn in the Guinness Book of World Records in 2018. And Matt Dow tells me the record is still in the 2020 issue of the Guinness Book of World Records. And that's one of those things. I never wrote to the Guinness Book of World Records people, and I don't know anybody who did write to the Guinness Book of World Records people. It just took 14 years for that to make its way through, and for the Guinness people to say, well, this is the guy that has the world record. And it seems to me, I mean, I'm not part of society, but from my understanding of society as constituted, the Guinness Book of World Records are the people who decide who has what world's record in whatever it is, because if people are going to check who has the world record, they'll go and look in the Guinness Book of World Records. So that'll be up to them again. If they decide that I don't have the record, then they'll give the record to whoever they decide does have the record. On a sort of related note, invitation from Dan Fogel to attend the Big Apple Comic Con, a Christmas Comic Con, December 14th. And I'm going to hold up the Underground Price Guide, because Dan Fogel, in addition to doing all of his hard work at Big Apple Comic Con, is also the publisher and head honcho and driving force behind Fogel's Underground Price Guide, and has always been very, very inclusive of me, even when that was definitely flying in the face of just about everybody associated with underground comics. No, you don't put Cerebus and Dave Sim in an Underground Price Guide. Doesn't belong there, blah, blah, blah. And Dan Fogel, being the guy that does the Underground Price Guide, decided that no, Cerebus and Dave Sim belong in the Underground Price Guide, and I've always been in there, and I've always appreciated that from Dan. But I did write back to him. Hi Dan, short answer is no. I'm working a 12-hour day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 18-hour caffeine-powered days, Monday and Saturday. So flying in Friday and flying out Monday, Sunday is my Sabbath, I'd be missing 48 hours of working time. You'd also have to explain to everyone, A, who I am, B, why they should care. Since I was the first example of cancel culture 25 years ago, before it was called cancel culture, and have remained canceled since then. Plus, Big Apple would be culpable for promoting hate speech because I'm not a feminist and I don't self-edit on the subject, S in quotation mark, subjects, i.e. trans people aren't trans, they're crazy. Environmentalism is a socialist scam. Most of society's ills stem from listening to white women, etc., etc. But keep me posted on future cons and maybe we can think of something. So there you go. An answer to James W. and an answer to my old buddy Dan Fogel. That'll do it for a weekly update for September 27th, and I hope we'll see a bunch of you next week for the October 4th weekly update.